losing your way when you're a boy. Clothes always fit ya. Life is a pop of the cherry when you're a boy. When you're a boy, you can wear a uniform.
Celebrates the best of world cinema on the year. It's not driven by studios' interests, it's driven by the interest of the public. It's a cinema event for the audience. It's not like Berlin or Cannes where essentially it's a closed event. This is for the people of London, the people of Britain, and that's the thing I most love about this festival. It's a genuine festival for lovers of movies.
The streets, in the shadows of dirty. It's a close encounter.
Well, it's always a pleasure to come back to London. I mean, we shot like, we didn't exactly shoot in this kind of surrounding. It was more like the little streets and by the river where you dump bodies. But you know, it's always a pleasure to come back, you know. Just a little Eurostar trip and it's gone.
What this weekend, so in the rugby?
Sorry?
Who will you support this weekend in the rugby?
Well, now that France lost, England.
Listen to me. They got you. I've had the worst day ever. I've been followed here on my mother's bike, right? And my car's right there, and it's been following me here. So get out of the car. No, stop. Oh God. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to hit your car. Okay, look. Stop. Oh.
About Transformers, which was a cartoon in the 80s. Good guys are the Autobots, bad guys are the Decepticons. They have a battle that comes to Earth. My character is Michaela. She's a high school kid who, by happenstance, gets sucked up into the battle. That's really all there is to it.
It's crazy. You know what? It just goes to show you where we are with technology these days. Because, you know, everybody asks me, it was a lot of blue green screen. I'm like, no, I seen about 3 blue screens on the set. That's it. Everything else was all live action, and they threw it in there afterwards. I don't know how they did it, but they did. It was crazy.
I don't have a credit card!
Sir, the attitude is not going to speed things up any bit at all. I'm going to ask you to speak into the mouthpiece very clearly.
We're in the middle of a war! This is ridiculous! I need a credit card! Hey, where's your wallet? Pocket! Which pocket? My back pocket! You got 10 back pockets! Left cheek! Left cheek! Left cheek! I keep shooting! Keep shooting! Okay, it's face up! Oh!
Also, sir, have you heard about our Premium Plus World Service Gold package?
No, I don't want a premium package!
Well, they got Bentleys and all that kind of big crybaby. They got Mercedes and all that kind of stuff. And they don't even pay for it. We had to pay for ours. We had to work summer jobs and save our money and buy it. And then work on and keep it up with the tide on. They giving, they spoiled. Don't tell me nothing about today, kid. What car they get?
The Coach Company was founded over 50 years ago by 6 skilled leather crafters in a Manhattan loft. By 1993, Coach was the premier American manufacturer of leather handbags and accessories, and it all started with a baseball glove.
The founder of Coach, Miles Kahn, was taken by the fact that a baseball glove, as you use it, gets softer and more supple. And he had what was then a radical idea. He thought, aha, why don't I use this heavy cowhide, the 6-ounce cowhide, and make leather products out of it and keep them natural, so that I'm using the actual natural skins. I can dye the leather, drum dye it all the way through so that it takes on different colorations, but it's basically going to be natural, untreated leather, and it'll get softer and more supple with age.
It has a lot of very particular characteristics about it. It burnishes over time, it becomes more lustrous as you use it. It's a very, very beautiful leather, which lends itself to a very simple construction of bags, and it wears extremely well.
Although some Coach lines are now made with a lighter weight leather, the basic design principles hold true from 50 years ago. Though the Coach factories are located in New Jersey, Florida, and Puerto Rico, the brainstorming and preliminary work is still done in that same Manhattan loft. Headed by John Stokes, the design team at Coach continues to update the old classics and create brand new modern ones.
Everything we do is custom designed so that it has our unique signature on it. And it's kind of exciting, actually, that this is where it all used to happen, and now, in a bigger way, it's still happening here. The leather is really an integral part of the design of the bag. We use different leathers. Each one of those leathers helps determine the character of the bag. Some leathers are firmer, some are softer, some have a little drape, some don't. The hardware on all of these bags is solid brass, which is one of our trademarks. The turn lock has been used for many, many years at Coach and has almost become a signature piece for us.
At Coach, quality is word one. The leather goes through a careful screening process before it even reaches the factory. It is then die cut in cookie cutter form. Each bag is hand sewn with hand turned edges. Threads are even trimmed by flame to prevent fraying. The artisans at Coach work in teams, where everyone is responsible for each product. Each team member fulfills a function in constructing a bag, and everyone inspects the finished product.
We have a big, big range of people, from those who are right at the beginning of their careers to those who've been in their careers for many, many years. And I've never actually added up how many hundreds of years of experience we have working up in these studios, but it must be many hundreds of years, I should think.
And the Coach tradition has earned it a place in American history, a fact that they've taken advantage of.
We have a campaign called the American Legacy, and the campaign features the descendants of famous Americans, basically from all walks of life. We are part of the American landscape, and the intent of the campaign was really to say that many generations on, very accomplished sons and daughters of famous Americans carry Coach.
With socks, belts, ties, scarves, and a new line of leather jackets, Coach has carved a niche as a true modern classic.
We sell products to one customer at a time, and our hope and intention every time is to start a long-term relationship with that consumer.
After a while, the bag seems to become part of the person's personality. It becomes more than just a handbag. It kind of makes them in some way feel comfortable.
We consciously design the product to be broadly appealing, and we try to build a lot of value, a lot of quality, a lot of functionality, and a lot of durability in it. But what ultimately makes it so broadly appealing is that we try to style it in a way that harmonizes with anything you might wear, any lifestyle you might have.
A Coach bag allows you to be who you are. It doesn't walk in the room ahead of you. It doesn't talk to you about somebody else's values. It talks about who you are. It talks about your values.
Coach, an American legacy.
Greatest That's actually is quite now mess because we are in the end of the season. And usually it's better, you know, but now we are really in the end. We just have yesterday the show of the CNC, which was quite a lot of work, but nice. I'm quite happy. And now we are almost a week far from Paris Costume National show. So we are in the last, pieces. So we are working the real couture piece here. And most of the collection is produced in the factory, which is in near Padova Vicenza, which is my factory. So everything now it starts to be very hot, because we are really a few hours, let's say, from the show.
Music.
Now we start the line of CNC here, which it's quite a lot of work in Milano, and also the men's is here. You never know. You never can say wherever I come back or not. It will depend. In a way, it's more practical because to move there, we move like 45 people for a week. So it's kind of, the organization is quite difficult also to organize. And it's a lot of work. This is old piece, and here is more or less is my, book, where I have on my book, and where I, have a lot of inspiration from the book sometimes. So it's where actually I'm make the fitting in this place, and sometimes I saw with the guys, the pieces, we have quite a lot of space, so we put all the fabric on the floor. It's a space where I use quite a lot, and then sometimes it's really a place to think about. The information, they can come from so many places because you click in the net and really you can have incredible stuff. So I think book, I love book because book they are so, they give you the chance to go more with your vision, with more creativity. Sometimes when you have a strong image in the video or somewhere else, they influence in different way. Book is always more gentle, let's say, in that sense. So I like the approach with the book and to start from something like that. But it doesn't work every time like that because sometimes, you see something in the street, or sometimes you see a girl or a boy that inspire you, or maybe some places, some art exhibition. I like to keep my mind really open about that. So I'm not, I say, okay, let's found in the book, or let's found there. It's something that, when you're a fashion designer, in a way, you develop a natural, it's like you're a cooker. You always want to try to find a new, test, and the same. So your natural attention, let's say, is to, be touched from something. And I like to keep this approach, which is, for me, is the best.
Sunset people.
There is a few towns that I like to go sometime. I like very much in Europe. I like Berlin. I think Berlin is it's very, very quite interesting city, let's say, because there is this kind of attitude of a young, natural young. I think it's the most young city in Europe in a way, and you feel that. You feel this energy to produce some idea and to make interesting things. So it's a nice city. And then, I love also to travel. I think for fashion, what is also very interesting, it's Tokyo. When you go in Tokyo, you see so many. You see everything there, so it's very privileged point of view because the Japanese, they really are open for that. They have all the brands from the micro brands from Australia, wherever in the world, and they have incredible vintage. They do a lot of research. So that is another fashion city. But I like also to travel, you know, in place where just you enjoy the nature as well. We start literally, you know, to have experiments on the, you know, on the piece. For example, we start to put fabric, and then right away I can see, you know, immediately the reaction, and if it's something, you know, is correct or not. Maybe let's go somewhere else. That's interesting work because I'm trying to. I want to do for Paris some kind of couture, but very graphic and really, let's say, modern. I don't want to do anything retro or. So I try before to make something more constructed, but in the end I realized that this season I like something kind of graphic and more modern in a way, timeless, let's say. So I think this will be the approach of the next season. Here we are moving where really we do the thing. We have kind of a small atelier where we stitching and we cutting and we fix all the stuff. So sometimes, you know, when I have some idea, the first things I need to realize is the fabric. You know, really literally to understand, you know, how it's, you know, it's going, if it's more tough, stiff, whatever. So I usually work a lot first with the fabric, and then when I'm an idea about, you know, where I want to go, I start to drawing the things. And then, of course, from the drawing, we start to produce the stuff. Of course, before that, there is a lot of work. Here, maybe you can have one impression. This section, for example, here is where we have the coordination, you know, and the production of all the idea that we send to the factory. And also I have my assistant. Not everybody's here at the moment, but we have like 15 people work here with me. They take care each one of you know, somebody take care about the woman, somebody about the man, and somebody about the product of accessory. I'm an old style designer. It means I'm not an art director. Like I'm working on the real piece and I'm drawing by myself. So that makes difference of the organization, because most of the designers, they have a different approach. They have many designers and they just do the art direction and they just want to say more or less what they want to do. Me, I'm more in a way that I'm more involved in all the process. I started 21 years ago. Actually, in September will come out the book of 21st year of Costume National, which is quite interesting. We choose with Carlo, my brother, we start together to do 21st year because it's incredible. It's kind of a joke, but it's a strange number in our story. Here we have the section of accessory. Here there is Massimo that take care about the, you know, the bags and the shoes and all the accessory, which is very important business actually for us, and even is very important status because we have one factory of shoes ourselves, and it's more than 35% of the total income. And so we really work a lot. We have 5-6 people here take care about, you know, ties, all the accessory parts. Here is the fabric. They are in Paris because now there is a Premiere Vision in Paris. And actually we are 4 people here that they are going around to looking for vintage piece or fabric anywhere and reproduce that story. Also, more than 70% of the fabric we design by ourselves, so it's a lot of research and quite a lot of work before. I experimented a few years ago a beautiful collection called, it was inspired by Africa. I make a nice trip to Africa. And we work on that, try to see from a different point of view. It was really fantastic because this catch is so rich of creativity. It was very easy to produce bags, shoes, and accessories. It was really fantastic experience. You know, when you always work with culture like Africa or, you know, all the exotic culture, it's really inspiring for a designer because they really have a natural sense of, you know, beauty, which is different from us. We are more, in a, if you want, you know, our culture is more in some kind of roots. But when I was there, I really found something incredible. You know, you are surprised all the time. Anyway. As I said before, you know, this is the 21st year of costume. And 21st year for us is very important because it's 21st is a magic number for costume. I born 12 March and Carlo 21st, which is, you know, when you put the number together. And then all our the factory we have in Tiene is the number is 21, and the shop in we have in Milano is 12. Here is 12. It's very strange. So it's 12, 21, 12, and we decide to celebrate 21 because. Is the majority, before in Italy, the majority was 21 years old. And there will come out a beautiful book, which we work with Assolin in September. This is the way that normally we work. It's kind of way that we work on some sketches and then we realize the 12. Can you work? And these pieces, they are you know, all made by hand. It's interesting because sometimes, you know, when you realize and you design something and then come on real, sometimes it's better and you're surprised. Sometimes it's really awful and you know, you are in love with your sketches and you say, wow. And then when you realize the piece, you say, my God, it's a disaster. I was completely wrong. So that is a really nice moment because myself also I'm really creative on the picture. Sometimes I completely change, you know, when I saw the real clothes because yeah, you know, you can open and then you can change and completely another aspect. But this is one of the part of my work that I love more because I study sculpture, and so to, you know, feel and touch and move and make the shape, it's a real pleasure. It's physically, I mean, it's a real pleasure. My mother and my father, they was kind of trendy family because they opened the store actually 50 years ago. And they was the first, actually, the first street store in Italy to carry, for example, Mary Quant in the, you know, 68. The first one also to carry Saint Laurent. They was, you know, like trendy 70, 60, 70 couple. They like to go around the world and bring this in the south of Italy. Still now, my mother, she is completely involved in the store and she have all the best brands from the most classic like Gucci, Chloé, to Balenciaga, Costume National, so she's still trendy. She's a book of fashion of the world, and so when I need something to ask, she remembers everything. And there I learned, you know, I learned a lot because I was growing up there and I was touching, you know, this material. So I realized after when I started to do this job that what I learned was really natural without any, you know, when you absorb the things and then you realize, wow, I know a lot of things about that, but you didn't realize, you know, how we get that story. So it's still, I mean, I have the chance to start to love fashion, you know, very naturally. I'm very busy because in the end our company is more than 220 people directly. We have 3 factories. We have 1 factory in Tiene, which is around more than 60 people, and this produces the garments. Then we opened a factory 2 years ago of shoes in Padova, which is another 65 people. Then we have 1 factory of leather in the south of Italy. Then you have our store. So it's kind of, we are not gigantic company, but we are kind of medium Italian company with the employee and quite a lot of people. So it's, you're busy. Even when you try to not be busy, you're busy, which is nice. Sometimes I regret when I was smaller because it was everything more, you know, dream but still it's nice because we are an independent company, which is kind of rare. And especially in the last few years, we fight with the gigantic company, and we survive, we grow. Last year, we grow more than 30%, which I think it's kind of nice in a way. This is sometime, you know, the way we are, you know, think that we are project the thing, so we are working, you know, in the sketches, and then we realize the pieces, and then we realize if we like the pieces or not, and then, you know, maybe, as I said before, you know, we make the sketch and look fantastic, then maybe when we realize in the fitting, we say, wow, it's not so good, because sometimes it's maybe not right, the fabric or the idea is not so strong. So, but always we start from some project, you know, sometimes we make the more clear for, you know, the pattern maker, they can understand, so it's different approach. We always start from some drawing, of course, and the drawing comes from the vision that we get in general. You know, when I was really young, I studied cello, and well, you know, music still is my soul. And a few years ago, I had the chance you know, I heard it was something about Jim Morrison, and I was curious, so I went to London. It was an exhibition, they sell some pieces, and I get incredible jackets from Jim Morrison, which is kind of velvet, you know, really baroque black velvet jacket, fantastic. And I use it a few times. Now it's really under a glass, you know. I think music is so linked to fashion, you know. I think, I mean, in a way, in the modern culture, music it's the culture, and we love music, and the musicians love fashion, thanks God. So there is this kind of personal relation. Sometimes I have a lot of friends, musicians. We have a lot of friends. You know, we recently, for the last 3 or 4 tours of Rolling Stone, we did quite a lot for Mick, for the guys. A lot of stuff for the tour, you know. For the big band, I mean, like, you know, U2, we make quite a lot of stuff. So it's nice because we have since the big band and even the small band. So it's really transversal in a way, which is kind of really interesting for me and nice. So it's good. 10 years ago was the '96. I designed that glass house 5 years ago. And I like this area because it still is kind of old style. This was realized after the Second World War in Italy, like in the 50s. And I bring this kind of transparent, you know, typical southern of Italy light. You know, I need some kind of light and some kind of real sky. So I was thinking a glass house. It was nice. It was difficult to realize because in Italy the rules of architectural rules, they're quite difficult. They don't want to do anything new. But in the end, you know, they liked the project and we realized, yeah, so we're quite happy. It's interesting because we have this beautiful water on it, which is part of the system, cooler system, and regenerating the water and still keep, you know, kind of cool the ambience downstairs. So it's really interesting system, how to make cool and keep the water, the same water. I like the approach of, for example, the old Saint Laurent, you know, the real Saint Laurent, and Dior, because in a way Dior use this kind of structure like architecture, which I love to work on it. And Dior, in a way, bring everything in the modernity. Saint Laurent, in a way, because bring that kind of structure, but in a way that the woman look more beautiful. And I think Saint Laurent brings some kind of modernity again because he brings this into the pret-a-porter, which I think was kind of big revolution. And the idea, you know, that work that you can inspire by many different things, you know, from art to wherever, and bring it again in the real life. It's one of the points that I like to work in Cos Nacional.
that we know and this regret I got accustomed to. Once was the ride when we were at our height, waiting for you in the hotel at night. I knew I had him at my match, but every moment we get snatched. I don't know why I got so attached. It's my responsibility, and you don't own nothing to me but to walk away. I have no capacity.
Hello World Fashion Channel, I'm Egle and I'm from Lithuania. I'm the backstage of John Richmond. It's really cool, it has really cool style, it's rock and roll, feel cool wearing its clothes, it's cool, I love it.
A strong influence from this season is a very sort of urban ethnic, but this is not an ethnic collection, it's still, you know, a John Richmond rock and roll collection. And the urban, you know, is probably second-hand references to ethnic, where I've picked up on people like African Bambata, who their influence was ethnic, but in an urban way, and I've picked up on all that. It's not an ethnic collection. I think you after the show you'll be like, what did he mean ethnic? Materials, there's lots of leather, lots of lace, a lot of embroideries and beading, and it's the beading and the embroideries which really have that. It's the repeat of design and the way the design is used, which has that ethnic feel. Lots of sequins, the sort of glamness comes in through all the jewels as well. Music, is just always part of what I do. It's not, I don't go looking to music as, okay, for the inspiration. It's just part of everyday life. It's not the source, it's just part of me.
Hey World Fashion Channel, I'm Eliza from Australia. John Richmond's usually very strong and fun. The clothes are really they're amazing and very detailed, so I guess just to emulate that as much as we can. A bit of fun though, for sure.
Tonight I have to show you what the woman would like to see on the real man. And tonight, really, I propose one collection that I dedicate maybe to myself, because every piece that I show tonight, before or after, I try on myself. Maybe the size is not the right one, but I say, okay, this I would buy. It's fantastic. And I am out from the rock man, the rock star, but at the same time is one rock man that he does imitate the rock man, just like the rock music, and he choose the best discotheque, the best place we have to go, the best party, the best dinner, and that any case he choose the right dress, sometimes elegant, sometimes a little bit wild, because the woman sometimes they love wild men, and accessory. Nice accessory, because the men they start to love accessories, small details, a strange funny tie, unusual belt, moccasin, or very high boot, cowboy boot, steel cowboy boot, because I love, for example, to show cowboy boot. Why not in the evening with a tuxedo? What else? Very light material, light silk, light leather. I use the leather that I used to use for gloves. And that light material for me is a big freedom sign. Okay, that will be Cavalier man, and there will be Cavalier for you.
Fashion and music are same things. Really connected. I love fashion, but I'm on the backstage at this moment, and you know. Roberto Cavalli is one of the best stylists in Italy.
Hi, it's the World Fashion Channel. My name's Tom Warren, I'm from London and I'm 19 years old. I'm with Why Not Agency in Milan.
Money in the bank.
I do like Cavalli's clothes actually. They're very, I don't know, they're always like different. It's no other designers are like, you know, similar to Cavalli. It's all very, you know, I don't know, Jimi Hendrixy. That's how I'll describe it, but yeah, it's cool.
Money in the bank.
My name is Milan Krojel, and I'm from Toronto, Canada. My agency here is Fashion. I like to wear an all-black suit, so right now I do, yeah. I think his stuff is very sexy. I like it on the girls. He makes great stuff for the girls. I don't know. A lot of the high-end fashion I'm not into myself, but for the ladies it looks nice.
Let me tell you about my day last night, cause everything really went right. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to brag, but it was just money in the bag, said money in the bag.
Well, Chanel's such like an established brand, and it's kind of it's one of the cooler ones as well. Because I think like I'd wear everything in the collection. It's so like wearable, kind of like rock and roll, but quite chic as well.
A little bit Amy Winehouse inspired, and we mix it with you know, when in the 60s girls like Geraldine Chaplin used to have those 2 dots under their eyes. It's for me a reference to the swinging 60s, you know, and that's why I just mixed a bit the Amy Winehouse eyeliner with a little sparkle under the eye. It's a beige skin tone foundation, a beige lip. Everything is kind of like beige, beige, beige with the black eyeliner. It's all about big eyeliner and big hair. That's what it's all about.
I think she's a very gifted person, and I like this hairdo. I took it as an inspiration because, in fact, it was Brigitte Bardot's hairdo from the late 50s and 60s. So I thought it was the right moment because, for me, it's a double clin d'oeil. It's Brigitte Bardot and Amy Winehouse. Wait, you will see. It's better than a description by me. It's an idea of French fashion, what they think English people could like.